Our gospel reading this morning comes to us from the 11th chapter of Matthew's gospel. Then John the Baptist heard in prison what the Messiah was doing. He sent word by his disciples and said to him, "Are you the one who is to come? Are we to wait for another?" Jesus answered him, "Go and tell John what you hear and see. The blind receive their sight, the lame walk, the lepers are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the poor have good news brought to them. And blessed is anyone who takes no offense at me." As they went away, Jesus began to speak to the crowds about John. "What did you go out into the wilderness to look at? A reed shaken by the wind? What then did you go out to see? Someone dressed in soft robes? Look, those who wear soft robes are in royal palaces. What then did you go out to see? A prophet? Yes, I tell you, and more than a prophet. This is the one about whom it is written, 'See, I am sending my messenger ahead of you, who will prepare your way before you.' Truly, I tell you, among those born of women, no one has arisen greater than John the Baptist. Yet the least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he." This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Well, here we are, the second Sunday of Advent, 8 days into December. So by now, Thanksgiving is probably a distant memory, and hopefully also those leftovers of turkey stuffing, cranberry sauce. If not, you might think about pitching it. But being thankful, friends, is always in season, truly. I'd like to show you a video. I first saw this video, I don't know, about 6 or 7 years ago, and upon watching it again recently, I was just so touched and moved by it. I really wanted to share it with you. It's about joy, it's about wonder, gratitude, and thankfulness. Let's take a look. It's about 6 minutes long. I moved every time I watched that. And I wanted to share that with you because today's gospel reading, I think, is about a feeling. Wonder. Wonder is an appreciation and an awe for something meaningful, something spectacular, something sublime. We think of wonder coming upon us in moments of grandeur, but we can also have wonder for the ordinary and yet amazing and beautiful things that happen to us every day. Because when we think about it, our world is truly wonderful. Our God created it and called it good. And we recognize that. When we recognize that, everything about it changes. And everything about us changes. And so we encounter Jesus today. He's preaching and healing, and John the Baptist paved the way for this. He made people ready to listen to Jesus and receive him. But he apparently now has a moment of doubt. He's in prison, and it will not end well. It will end. His life will end in prison. And John knows that this is a danger, and so he sends messengers to Jesus and says, "Are you really the one? Are you the Messiah? Are you the one who was sent here? I need to know." And so Jesus, so unlike us, he doesn't see the need to argue, prove himself, come out ahead or on top, or send him some treatise of proof. He just simply tells them, "Tell John what you see." And this John would know is proof. Because the scriptures had foretold that the prophecies prepared the people that when the Messiah comes, Indeed, the blind would receive their sight, the lame would walk, the lepers would be cleansed, the deaf would hear, the dead would be raised, the poor would have good news brought to them. This is proof the Messiah is in your midst. And Jesus, in that comment, is telling him, I am he. And so we have this strange turn of events where John the messenger, who is sent to proclaim Jesus the Christ, sends messengers to check on Jesus, who turns John's messengers into his own messengers, back to John. And in the process, because we have heard the message ourselves, we become messengers of restoration and salvation and joy and wonder too. We are the messengers now because the story has passed down to us. And the message doesn't have to be fire and brimstone as it is often told. It can be in joy and in gratitude and wonder. In response to John's question, again, Jesus offers visual evidence for who he is. And again, when the Messiah came, those things were to happen. Those who were seeking help were to receive it. Those who needed care and concern would receive that. Jesus seems to be telling John, consider who I am. Look at what I'm doing and take heart. Know that it will be okay. And everything about the world changes when we recognize that. Life is not without difficulty. Jesus wasn't going to take away the suffering and the difficulty that John would have to go through. John's circumstances wouldn't change. But John had a message then that could give him heart and hope. God hasn't abandoned us. The Messiah is here. This isn't to deny that life can sometimes be tragic or hard or unfair. But all of that matters less when we consider that God is with us and God is for us. Tell John what you see. Tell him what you see. It's not to deny what John would go through, but to encourage him that all was being made well anyway, and would be. And so, as we said, we now are messengers. Just like in the video, our message can be a smile, an act of kindness, a hug, some food, an invitation to church, or simply the calm and loving look of your eyes, full of wonder and hope. Happiness to see someone. As the video says, that everyone you meet on this day will be blessed by you just by your eyes, just by your smile, by your touch, just by your presence. Let the gratefulness flow into blessing all around you. And indeed, I believe Christmas really, truly is all about wonder. And in this season, we look ahead in wonder to something that happened long ago, yet somehow truly happens again and again each and every year when we make room for it in our hearts. And doesn't that give you wonder? That God came down to be one of us. That God comes even now into our spirits. That God is with us and for us and always, always will be with us and for us. The maker of this amazing universe, everything we saw on the screen, everything your eyes see now, everything your eyes have seen, the one who made all of that is with you and for you. That's something to find joy and wonder in this Christmas. No matter the circumstances of our lives, no matter what we are going through, we can find joy and wonder in that. So don't let the wonder of the season pass you by. Last week we talked about being ready, and I think wonder is a key part in our readiness for God, our willingness to enter into that state of wonder. John, in his doubt, almost missed it. But God is patient and good and sent him a word to encourage him. Take the time to notice what God is doing around you, what God is speaking into your heart and spirit. And share it. Share it, that the wonder may spread to others. And may the gratefulness flow into blessing all around us. Amen.